Testing sound. Testing the sound. I don't hear it on this. Testing surviving to thriving.
go for it. Don't think about what comes after or what came before. You just gotta bend your knees, take a deep breath, and jump. And you might think, what if I fall? Well, what if you don't? What if you fly?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me, see me well? Those of you who are my clients are used to hearing that. Can you hear me, see me well? When we're doing virtual sessions. All right. Awesome. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. You made it. It's very cold. It's very cold, so I thank you for making the effort. Welcome to the Surviving to Thriving workshop with Refining Therapy Services. And my name is Sonia Palmer-Nelson. I am the clinical director and owner of Refining Therapy Services. Awesome team of therapists. We are registered psychotherapists, registered social workers, registered social service workers. We do it all. And today we are excited to lead you from the survival mindset to hopefully thriving or somewhat closer. And so I understand while we're here in person, there's also some individuals watching online. I hope it is great. I hope you guys put all the comments in the chat and let us know when something doesn't make sense or when you need clarification or when you can't hear something, can't see something. If you haven't downloaded your workbook, please check the email that you got last night and download that so you can make notes along the way. For those of you who are here, if you haven't got a workbook, please see Devine and our volunteer, Jeraine, at the back to get a workshop from them as well. We have pens available too. Awesome. I want to pause and just say thank you to the individuals who allowed us to have this space where we are. For those who don't know, we're actually in a place of faith, of sanctuary. This is not a faith-based event, however, because of the convenience of the space, where we get to eat, have space for children if anyone needed it. I loved what they offered to us. And so I just want to say thank you to the host pastors of this house. If you're watching online, thank you for allowing us to use it. And for those who are individuals participating who aren't even of faith and still felt comfortable enough to come, thank you again for engaging with us and participating. Wonderful. So let's begin. I want to explain my intentions of today's workshop, first and foremost. Intentions, hopefully, what you leave with, what I'm hoping to portray, what I'm hoping to explain. I want to shift individuals' mindset from the survival closer to thriving, and I'm going to show you a paradigm earlier or later on. We're going to expand your emotional intelligence. So this means I want you to leave with more awareness, like social awareness, emotional awareness, relationship regulation ability, like all of this, I want you to leave with that increased. Providing additional form of support for those who already see a therapist. I want this to be an additional method of supporting your mental health if you already have a therapist. And those of you who don't have a therapist, maybe aren't interested, aren't ready, aren't able to see a therapist, I'm really hoping that today's workshop is a safe space for you to explore and work on your mental health. Agenda, what this may look like. We're going to answer some of the following questions or topics. We're going to start off with who are you? What are your goals? Why is that your goal? That's a big one. Where did your goals, dreams, or aspirations come from? Who is going to help you achieve these goals? What type of boundaries will you need for these goals? When the progress is stagnant or slow or feels dry, boring, frustrating, how do we plan on coping? When you're tempted to just give up or cancel your goal and like just cancel it all, what are you going to do then? And then lastly, how do you know when to shift with your goal or when to stand strong with your goal? That's what we're hoping, all while exploring surviving mentality to thriving. All right. Can I ask whoever's in control of the slides to switch for me? Let's go to the paradigm page or slide. Okay, wonderful. For those following along in their workbook, I would love for you to make reference to the slide or the page that looks like this. The paradigm of burnt out to thriving. I would love for that slide to come up on the screen as well, if possible. The paradigm from burnt out, survival, fine, well, and then thriving. All right, so those of you who have it online or in your workbook, I want to explain what this is. So on the left side of this paradigm, you'll see something that says burnt out. And from there, you'll see survival. In the middle, you'll see fine. Then it goes to well. And then the last on the very right says thriving. Okay? We're hoping today that we're getting you closer to the right side. It's not possible for us to just jump ship from extreme left to extreme right. But the goal is that you have tools and the safety to move closer to the right side. How do we know where we are? When we are in the burnt out side, extreme left, this is often where we feel like we're not able to do our daily functioning. We feel literally disabled. We don't feel like we are functioning well. We don't feel like we have all the care, all the capacity, bandwidth. We're missing it at this point. When we are in survival state, it's a little bit less intense, but the symptoms are starting to creep up. You're starting to notice, maybe those who are closest to you are pinpointing this to you as well. When we are in the middle, where it says fine or neutral point, things aren't perfect. However, you are in your window of tolerance. You can manage when things don't go your way. You're not completely blown out of the water or upset, frustrated. You are in the neutral fine point. This is often where we aim to stay majority of our seasons. Then the next to the right would be you are feeling well. So this is where not only do you have awareness of how you're doing, how you're managing, you have community around this time, but you're also getting educated on how can I be better? How can I manage some of my skills better? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are my challenges? This is when we're well. And then thriving, which is the ultimate goal. I want to pause here and also pinpoint, we can't stay thriving forever. We are human. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to have challenges, things that are out of our control. So the goal, although we aim to get to thriving, realistically, I want to remind us all, we can't hope to stay there. That's not a possible goal. However, when we get to seasons of life where we are thriving, we experience not only awareness, education, but growth. So this looks like, okay, having a community where people are holding you accountable, people are checking in on you, people are supporting you, you have an idea and someone saying, hey, I booked off next weekend because I remember you said you had this idea, I want to come with you. You said you want to work on your basketball skills. I booked out the gym at the community center. I'm going to be there to support you. I can't play, but you can. I'm just going to go there and support you. That's when we're in our thriving state. I'm aware of my skills, I'm getting educated on it, and now my community is pouring into me as well. So again, we're hoping to shift today from survival state to more closer to thriving. Does this make sense? Can I get a thumbs up, a nod, a blink if you can? Awesome, love it so far, love it. All right, whoever is running my slides, I don't love you right now, but I'm gonna ask you to shift to where it says, who are you? Who are you and what are your goals? For those of you who have the workbook, we're looking at who are you and what are your goals. We're gonna get a little personal right now. So if you came and you're sitting with someone you know, you're kind of lucky, because then you're not gonna tell them nothing new. But if you're sitting beside someone you don't know, get a little comfortable, a little, if you can. So when we're thinking about who are we, I'm gonna give you examples of what I want you to reflect on. What is your name? Where are you from? What's a good song or book that motivates you? And what are two of your goals? I'll go first, and then I'm going to give you guys a couple moments of silence to answer these questions as well. So again, my name is Sonia Palmer Nelson. Where am I from? Born and raised in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, but my family is Jamaican. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We love that. Love their food and the country. Yes, I'm biased. And favorite song? I have my playlist right now is a constant mixture of full-blown gospel, Caribbean gospel, and then some old school R&Bs as well, because that's just what I grew up on. And two of my goals right now. Two goals that I'm willing to share, first of all, publicly. One, I would love to help encourage my mom to embrace the concept of early retirement. She has 2 years left. They are married together. My father has already retired, and my mom looks like she's in denial that she only has 2 years left, that she has to work. So I would love to encourage her to embrace early retirement, but whatever that looks like. And another goal, I would love to plan a successful family vacation. I'm not good at planning vacations, so that's a goal of mine for a family of 4. I'm going to ask you to take 2 minutes by yourselves and answer those questions with the person beside you. If there's no one beside you, feel free to come talk to me so I don't have to stand here with all these lights by myself. Take 2 minutes, guys. Who are you? Where are you from? What's a favorite song or book, a person who motivates you? And then what are 2 goals? And if you have the workbook, this is a good time to write these goals down. One more minute. No one's coming up to me, so I'm hoping we're talking to each other. All right. So now I'm going to ask for the slide that says SMART at the top. And for those of you with the workbook, let's turn to that page that says SMART. This is a popular concept. I'm not going to lecture you on it. Just want to remind you that it's common for our goals. Next slide. It's common in order for our goals to be successful, we use this method called SMART. So we want goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-bound. I chose this graphic because I like the whole what to do, what not to do. We often see what to do, we don't say the what not to do. So I like that part, where it says for under the specific. Don't say, I want more visitors. Actually say how many you're hoping for at your event. Don't hide behind buzzwords like brand engagement or social influence. Under attainable, don't try to take over the world in one night. That's a big one for me. I often set my goals that are too big, hence the first one. Encourage my mom to seek early in retirement. That's very big. So that would not pass this goal, this checklist already of being attainable, right? Realistic again. Don't forget any hurdles you may have to overcome. We're going to talk about that later on. And then time bound. Don't keep pushing towards a goal you might hit someday. Put a time on it, right? Don't be afraid to put a start the date and an end date. If the end date comes and we didn't make it, it's okay. We can adjust, but don't be afraid to put an attainable end date. We often are afraid and we just leave this long scale with unknown variability of when we're gonna end. So does everyone have at least one goal in their head right now or written down in their workbook? At least one. I'm not gonna ask you about it. Don't be afraid. Okay, we have at least one. So now I want you to ask, why is that your goal? Why is that your goal? Don't tell me yet, but I ask this question a lot when doing this workshop because sometimes our goals are not always derived or rooted in our own needs, strengths, or our own values. Many times, next slide please, our goals are focused or rooted in things such as like resentment or perfectionism. Sometimes our goals are rooted in our parents or caregivers. Sometimes our goals are rooted in childhood trauma, things we went through in the past. Sometimes we don't realize our goals are based off of pride, and then they're just sometimes an easy way to get out of what some of us believers of faith or believe like against the purpose of what God has put over our life, right? So it's not the reasons for our goal are important, the why behind it. In order for our goal to be achieved long term, we have to know our why, we have to be able to communicate our why. We're gonna, depending on the type of goal, if it's services or if it's business, you're gonna have to be able to write about your why. You're gonna have to convince others that your why is important. But when you're stumbling, when you're feeling weak, burnt out, tired, confused, that why is very helpful to remember and to reflect on. So why, the goal that you just wrote down or that you've been thinking about a couple minutes ago, I would love for you to ask yourself, why is this my goal? This is my goal because it's linked with just my personality. This is my goal because it's linked to my strength. I've been a great swimmer since childhood, so now I want to swim and hopefully join a swim team in high school. Or I've been a great singer since childhood, so I would love to be an artist. Why? Where did this goal come from? Is it tied to your core values? Is it tied to your own needs? You saw something that you didn't have as a in your family, and now you want to be able to present it in your new family. Where did that goal come from? If you're admitting to yourself that, yeah, my goal is coming from anger. I'm upset that one of my parents left at a young age, and my goal is to never date a man or a woman who's like that. Now, I understand the notion of not trying to repeat horrible experiences or traumatic experiences for your family to come or your family in the future, but if it's rooted in anger, out of my 10 plus years of providing psychotherapy and counseling to individuals, those are the individuals who tend to experience most burnout. Those are the individuals who tend to experience the most identity crisis, or they teeter-totter on what's my purpose. Because they know that I started doing this out of anger. I was driven, I was angry, I was upset, and that was motivating. I'm never gonna experience that again. I'm never gonna let a man speak to me like that again. I'm never gonna be so dependent on someone else's finances. I'm never gonna be dependent on someone else's validation. I'm so angry, this is what's driving me. But if we don't work on a healthier why, we don't land there, we tend to land in burnout. We tend to isolate ourselves. We tend to get really frustrated and our goal gets blurry along the way. So I encourage you guys to get to the root of why this is your goal. And sometimes that's uncomfortable. The purpose of this workshop is for us to at least broaden your spectrum. Why do you have these goals, big or small? Where's the root? If it's something healthy, great. Now let's build momentum. Let's build community. If it's not something that's healthy or a positive growth mindset, you're setting yourself for failure. Let's go to the slide that says, where did your goals, dreams, and aspirations come from? You're already there, perfect. Okay, next slide where it says fears. Let's look at yes, that one, thank you. So on the left, you're seeing fears, past trauma and challenges. In the middle, you see the word narrative. And on the right, core values and strengths. I draw this, I want to say spectrum, because so many times I've seen individuals who have healthy community, who have had the opportunity, the safety, I want to say, the opportunity to work on themselves, personal growth, professional development. They tend to build their goals off of core values and strengths. When I've come across individuals who don't always have the safety, community, resources, options, time to then to explore their goals and their emotional awareness, their goals are built off of sometimes fears, past traumas, challenges. So I draw the narrative is important. You know, what's the tone behind your goals? What's the purpose? The why? I want to pause here for a second. Let's go to the next slide. It literally says, let's pause here and do a heart check. Some of you may be wondering, like, why? It's too soon. Like, we barely spoke about anything. I want to pause intentionally because sometimes when we are purposely or intentionally talking about ourselves, it can be uncomfortable. Not everybody has done intentional reflection or self-reflection. Not everybody has taken time to pause or attend workshops like these where you're asked to take a moment in silence and write down a goal, or take a moment and think about where this goal came from. And I understand this can be very triggering for some or uncomfortable. So there will be multiple moments throughout this workshop where I say, let's pause. Because stats do show me 1 in 5 in Canada, 1 in 5 individuals are experiencing mental health challenges. We have more than 5 people in this room. So without me having to pry and go into your business, chances are someone may benefit from a pause. So to honor whoever that person is, myself included, I'm going to pause at times like this. Is that okay? Awesome, wonderful. While we're reflecting in pauses, I ask individuals, next slide, to consider the following. Reflect on your why, take control of your narrative, and let's reconnect with our core values. I want to go to the slide or the page in your workshop that says, who is going to help you achieve these goals? Who is going to help you achieve these goals? Let's get to that slide or that page. I'm going to share a little bit, so maybe some like exposing of Sonia for a second. So I'm going to share a few examples of goals that I have had in the past and who in my community has helped me and how, so that you can hopefully do this reflection as well. So before becoming a registered psychotherapist, I played piano for about 10 years of my life and then taught piano for, again, a long time, maybe 7, 8 years, classical piano. And so with that came like going to competitions and like recitals, all the little musical things. It was really awesome. But a big part of who helped me feel like I was able to even achieve those goals or go to competitions and teach, in this case, was my family. So when I asked the question, who's going to help you achieve these goals? Who helped Sonia feel like, as the token black girl in the class of 20, who says it's okay to go to this piano class every Saturday when you're the only random black girl? How do you get the motivation to keep going and achieve your goal of, I want to play piano and someday I want to teach? At that time, it was very heavily my family. Friends, although they were chiming in as I got better. Oh, cool, I heard you play down the hall, or is that you playing at home? That's awesome. But that was when I got good. But when I sucked or was just starting, it was strictly just family. When I was considering joining a basketball team or a volleyball team, that wasn't family encouraging me or supporting that goal. That was my peers at the time, because they saw me every single day. Oh, Sonia, you're really good in gym class. It makes sense that you signed up for volleyball. It makes sense that you signed up for basketball. Go ahead. Like, reminding me, don't forget, tryouts are this Friday. Don't forget, tryouts are, right? And so that was who was supporting me in that goal. As I got older, which university do I want to go to? What program do I want to take? Again, this wasn't solely just parents. This wasn't solely just peers. This was even colleagues. This was even some mentors who I didn't see on a regular basis. But my community continued to shift and grow for every goal that I had. Now imagine what it would have been like if I only depended on one portion of my community for all those goals. So imagine a 7-year-old Sonia who wants to take piano lessons and was heavily dependent on the support of her parents, still only depending on her parents for the volleyball or basketball tryouts. They have to go to work. They don't see me every day. They don't see me in gym class. They can do their best to pray over me. Come on, go ahead, you can do it. My mom doesn't know what volleyball is to this day, and I played quite heavily for about 6 years, right? So I don't think she would have been the greatest support. What if I continued only leaning on my parents when I went to the goal of what university to go to, what program? They went. They are academically inclined, and they graduated as well from their programs, but they didn't major or minor in psychology, psychotherapy, human resources. No, my dad's an engineer, my mom's a nurse, right? So no, they did not. My community had to grow. I had to learn to lean on different people. And that's important. As we're shifting to the topic of like, okay, what is your goal? Why is that your goal? Now it's who's gonna help you with these goals. Be honest with yourself. There are great people around you. I don't need you to think that you need 50 people around you to achieve a goal, but I'm sure you have at least one. I pray you do have one. If not, here I am. But I pray you have at least one or two, and be honest. Are they helpful towards this goal? They may be helpful to me in this season of my life. They may be supportive to me, but this goal that I wrote down today while sitting here in Surviving to Thriving workshop, is that person, that best friend, that partner, that roommate, are they helpful towards that goal? Right? And be mindful, people are not helpful just because they cheer you on. People are helpful because they can remind you, they can hold you accountable, they see you on a regular basis, hold accountability. Right? Think back to my peers back in school who saw me in gym class. And oh, you're actually good at basketball. Yeah, you should go try out. I saw the list on the wall, right? Things of that nature. So we're gonna shift to the next slide, if you can, where it says friends, family, colleagues, and classmates. And I want you to just pause, take a look at the list, or the goal, that you wrote. Just ask yourself, who comes to mind with that goal? Who's gonna help you achieve this goal? Now, the people that help us achieve our goals, they either fall in what's called our support network or our social network. I'm going to describe these two, and it's up to you just to figure out, okay, who's landing where in my networks. So support network, individuals who you can lean on, and for lack of better words. They're available in times of need. They've seen you in various roles, various hats. So these are individuals who know, maybe they know the city where you live in, they know that in the past you used to play this sport, they know that you also have 3 siblings and you used to work here. They know quite a bit about you. They don't have to know everything, but they've seen you in multiple roles, right? And they'll fall into different categories that we're gonna explore in a minute. Instrumental support, emotional support, informational support, and appraisal support. Now our social support, let's go to the next slide that says social support. These are individuals who we have a lot in common with. We love spending time with them, but about improving our mental health and achieving our goals successfully, we have to know who's in what network. Who in our life is in our support network and who in our life is in our social network. And this changes depending on the seasons of life we're in. As we get older, people move away, people are no longer your besties, you're no longer someone's favorite, someone's no longer your favorite, we shift. And it's important to acknowledge that. I want to break down the elements of our support network. The social network is pretty self-explanatory. Again, these are people you have lots of things in common with. You call them when you want to do something social. You see them on sometimes a regular basis, sometimes not. but they know you with one role, one or two at most. The support network is a little bit more complicated. Let's look at the slide or the page that says instrumental support. We're gonna have a little activity after this one, so bear with me. Instrumental support. So these are people who you would turn to when you need urgent or crucial support. So your car breaks down. The people you think of right away, not CAA, but the person like, oh my gosh, I gotta call dad, or oh my gosh, I gotta call babe, your partner, oh my gosh, I gotta call Sarah. Who is your person that you call on in a time of need, right? That's instrumental support. They often don't need much explanation because you're in close connection with them. You talk to them frequently. They know your multiple hats. So they know your car broke down, they're right away thinking, oh no, where are your kids? Right? Or they know, oh, she just got a new job. Like, how are you gonna get to work? Let me send you an Uber. Can I come pick you up? Or, oh, I know that you were trying to help out your dad. Let me go help him for you while you work on your car. Like they're thinking ahead because they know you so well. Whereas if this was someone in your social network, only knowing one role, they'd only be focused on, rightfully so, your car. Your car broke down. Oh, I have CAA membership. Can I call it for you? They don't know why else you're so anxious or so worried, because there's so many other hats, there's so many other things you need to work on. So it's important, again, who do I call in that moment? Someone from my social support or social network, or my support network? Instrumental support, specifically. Okay? Emotional support. Tell me if you guys want me to slow down, right? Or if you have questions, feel free. Emotional support. It's exactly what it sounds like. This is someone who's also instrumental to you, but you call them not necessarily for a tangible support, or tangible fix, or for them to think ahead with you. You call them because you know that you can crumble with them and they won't judge you. You know that if you need to cry, or if you're not your best self, if you're not showing up with your fullest capacity, they understand. They know that, on an average day, I know Sonia to be rather regulated. Although she called me right now and her volume is really high, something has to be off. This is not like her. Rather than like, whoa, get off my phone. Don't call me back when you're calmed down. Right? Emotional support person, they know when you are well. Think of the paradigm that was in the middle. They know you when you are well, and they know signs of when you are not well. And they don't judge you. So this is not always just our intimate partner or our best friend. Sometimes this is also inclusive of a doctor who you see regularly. Sometimes this is a parent who you live with, regardless of your age. Right? Who is your emotional support? I see some of you guys pointing to the person beside you. Love it. Okay. All right. We're going to shift 2 more with our support network. Appraisal support. Thank you to the person on the slides. Love it. These are individuals we turn to for a second opinion. So we trust this person because of their wisdom. We trust this person because they've given us good advice in the past. We trust this person or these people because we admire their growth. And we think, well, there's wisdom. Now, this is not equivalent to using someone. I'm not telling you to go and use people and then call them your appraisal support. I want to make that very clear. It's a 2-way relationship. So you may be offering emotional support to someone, and they could be offering you appraisal support. Right? So this looks like I recently moved to Hamilton 1 year ago. And prior to moving, I reached out to all my friends who I knew live in Hamilton and was like, what's the community like? How has it been living there? And any advice, any neighborhoods that you prefer or find community in? And I got a lot of different advice about Hamilton. Some people said great things, some people had some not so nice things, but it was nice to not be shocked and completely caught off guard when I got there, right? And then there's informational support. This one I find people take for granted. When I talk about this in individual sessions, people just think, oh, I go to Google. And I'm like, okay, that's great. I go to Google too, but what else? Where else are you gathering your information? You'd be shocked how many people live beside a library or a community center and they've never stepped into one? Or how many people are spiritual or faith-based, and they've never went into certain faith-based communities, ever? How many people are athletic, but only have went to one gym? Right, like let's explore, let's gather information. And so that, God forbid, something ever happens and your favorite gym shuts down, are you comfortable going to the other gym? Have you ever went there? Or your Google isn't working, your Wi-Fi shuts down, can you go to the closest library and gather some information without being driven full with anxiety? Right? Informational support. Sometimes this can also be a person, someone who you admire them, and you want to be a doctor one day, and you know that your best friend's dad is a doctor. You can go to that person and say, hey, I would love to ask for an informational interview. I actually did that a lot when pursuing my current title as a registered psychotherapist. I Googled and hit up everyone on LinkedIn. Hi, I'm fresh out of my master's program. This is my name. Can I ask you a couple questions about your career? Now, mind you, about 50% of the people ignored my message and emails. And then the other 50, it was win or win, win-win. Hey, thanks for reaching out. This is what I have to give you, or this is some information. This is what I would recommend. So informational support is important. It should not be taken for granted. This could be a person, this could be a place, this could be a thing. Am I making sense? Thanks, I'm nodding ahead. Awesome. Okay, let's do an activity. Can we go to the next slide? All right, look at this picture. Some of you who have came to this workshop before may have already seen it, but those of you who haven't, take a good look. Yes, that is me in the middle, sticking out my tongue, sorry. It's not the most flattering photo, but take a look at the photo. You'll see myself in the middle and 4 other people. I want you to do your best. Do you want me to move out of the way? Oh, okay, sorry. I want you to do your best. Is this better? Can you guys see? Okay. Do your best to create a narrative. Think about who in this photo is in Sonia's or was in Sonia's supportive network, and who in this photo could have been in her social network. Or do you think, I don't know, Sonia, it's just a photo with you guys all standing there and you sticking out your tongue. Is it all social support or social network, or is there someone, one person in your support network? What do you guys think? Take a couple minutes. Who do you think is who? Is this other female part of my support network, social network? Is this gentleman with the interesting hairstyle support, social? Any ideas? I will bring the mic to someone, so please volunteer. I can't see the chat online, so let me know if anyone is putting anything in the chat. Any ideas? I see people pointing, I can't hear. Okay, I think our participant Keisha has some ideas. Go ahead. Anyone? Okay, Jamal. You said this person is support network? Okay, and why? Body language, okay, cool. Anybody else agree, disagree, or you're like, I don't know, it's just a photo? Yasmin says she agrees, okay. There's no wrong answer, by the way, guys, like this is not a test, it's okay. Anyone else? Are you ready to share now, Keisha? So, there's a mic, go ahead.
Hello.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I was thinking
The person,
the front.
yes.
Which I know. Support.
Okay.
The gentleman behind you, your husband, support.
Okay, wow, okay, go ahead.
I think it's not because I know them.
The other two, any
the
idea?
other two, social, just been there, supportive.
Okay, thank you for your synopsis. Anyone else? Okay. Going once, going twice? No, all right. So let's start with this lady in the front. At the time, this photo was taken 6 or 7 years ago. No. 6 years ago. 6 years ago. All right. At the time of this photo, she was the only one in my support network. All the other individuals in this photo were in my social network at the time the photo was taken. Remember, our networks change in our seasons of life. All right. So yes, someone in the photo is my husband. I know, she outed me, but hear me out. At the time of this photo, the time the photo was taken, I was single and not married, and only the lady in the front was a part of my support network, specifically my emotional support. I could ugly cry with her, I could tell her all my business, laugh, and bounce ideas off of her. We went to the gym together, and I was trying to lose weight, she was trying to gain weight. Like, we did it all together. And so yes, Shauna was a part of my support network, emotional support. Currently, she is a part of my support network, but appraisal support. So although I know she's a safe person I can go to with my emotions, I also think she's over the past 6 years gained so much wisdom in her work and her life, and I go to her for advice more now than I would have back then. Whereas the gentleman behind her at the time was a part of my social network. We had literally just met a week before this photo was taken. I think we're here at Niagara Falls with an event with a whole bunch of other youth, and he was cool, and we hung out at that time, and what did we have in common? We loved music, we were attending the same church, and happened to be at this event at this time. Social network. The gentleman to my left, maybe your right, at the time was a part of my social network as well. We love music. I play the piano or keyboard. He plays the bass guitar and the drums. We always talk about different songs. We attend the same social gatherings, attend the same church. He's much younger than me, so I almost treat him like a little brother when we see each other in public. Tease him all the time about his haircut. It has changed. But yes, not part of my support network. And to date, he is still a part of my social network. Right? And last but not least, the gentleman behind me at the time was a part of my social network. We weren't even courting at this time or dating at this time. He was just cool and easy to look at the time. And as time progressed, so I did not lean on him for emotional support, information support, things of that nature. But then as time progressed over the 6 years, as you heard, yes, we are now married, have 2 kids, lovely stepson at the back, kudos to Jermaine, and I have a 1-year-old and yeah, you can applaud him. He's getting his high school volunteer hours today. Yeah, yeah. And then Anaya, who just turned 1. Wonderful. I think you're trying to tell me something.
So we actually have some online comments from Amanda Vale. She said the woman is social and support.
Okay.
Alyssa said emotional support network.
So she was right, yeah.
Yeah, and then kudos to them. Alyssa also said the man in the back, the man on the right is social support. Amanda said the man behind her is emotional and emergency support network.
Now.
Not
back then, guys.
And then Amanda said woman appraisal.
Yeah, now. The irony of that, yeah.
Congrats, Amanda. Alyssa.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you guys for those comments. And so yes, now that you know a little bit about my business, take a minute to pause. And I would love for you guys to review your own support network versus your social network. So this looks like, I know we all have cell phones. I'm not gonna ask you your business. I would love you to pull out your phone, look for a recent group photo you took. Maybe you were at a restaurant, maybe you guys were at a birthday party. If you don't have any photos on your phone, go on your social media. I'm not coming around to ask you to see the photo. No one's gonna do that. Look at a group photo you have with a couple friends or family, and then do the same thing we just did with my photo. Look at your phones. I know we don't live or survive without your phones. I know. Take a second. And those of you at home, pull out a photo, something you took recently or something on your social media. You don't have to show us, it's okay. But take a second and do the exact same thing I just did with my photo. Who in this photo at the time it was taken versus now? Wow, somebody is having a field day of laughter. Okay, so look at the photo. Is there any brave soul willing to show me the photo? You won't have to show everyone or the camera. Is there any brave soul in here? No? Nobody? Nobody's brave enough? Okay. Cool. Oh, we have a brave soul. Okay, okay. Can I show? All right. I don't know if your camera can zoom in this far. Can you zoom in? Is it possible? No? Or not even close? Oh, yeah. Should I go like, listen, if this is the iPhone, I don't know what to do. Oh. All right, so one of our participants has just showed us, come back here please, has just showed us a group photo of herself and some individuals. Thank you for volunteering. Can you tell us, is this recent or a long time? It's recent, okay. So can you tell us who's who, not their name, don't out anyone, but who is your support network in this photo and why? And who is in your social network in this photo and why? And before you speak, I want to remind everyone in here and online, there's no hierarchy. It's not like, oh, you're not a good friend to me, so you're just in my social network. No, right? There's just different purposes. Okay, I want to make that very clear. Go ahead.
So, as you can see on the photo, my support is that one and this one that is so close to me.
Isn't that the lady that happens to be sitting beside you?
And then...
Okay.
And then the others are, social.
Social network, okay. And did you already know that, or is that something you're determining today?
I already know.
You already knew, okay. And how do you know? Why are they just social support?
Because I think we don't spend enough time together.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's
but
the only
support is always there.
Ah, okay. And do they know you in many hats or just one?
I think maybe just one, not many. But the support know me in many hats.
In many hats. There it is. Thank you. Give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
And yes, I know her, but no, I did not tell her what to say. Like, I did not know that she would volunteer for that in that regard. Awesome. We're going to take a quick pause here again. Remember, we said we're going to do a couple of those pauses. I want to take a moment to pause and remind everyone of our awesome sponsors and vendors. Can you look at hold on. Can we pull up the flyer, if possible? Forgive me, guys. All right. Can I have the vendor graphic up there for me, please? That would be lovely right about now. The vendor one specifically. Thank you for your patience, audience. Yeah? Right? Okay, no problem. Well, in the meantime, I want to start by saying thank you to the vendors. Can I ask Jamal Smith to stand up? He's at the very back. Woo, woo, woo. Can we have a little round of applause? Woo, woo, woo. Awesome. Jamal Smith is a financial advisor, very, very supportive. We're going to be able to see him and speak to him if needed. No pressure, but if needed at the back. We're going to all go to a room where we'll eat later, and that's where you'll be able to meet with him and forgive me for not. And Jonathan, yes, at their booth. Awesome. Thank you, Jamal. Alongside Jamal, we're also going to have to another vendor, Felicia. She does catering. She's actually catering for us today. The awesome lunch you're going to eat, you'll be full and you'll be happy, I'm sure. I've ate from her before. And she also is an awesome hairstylist. Don't judge me by my hairstyle today. not being the most practiced, but she is a great hairstylist, and she has a great Instagram, website, all that. You guys can see her from there. She's one of our vendors today. Sponsors. I really want to say thank you and pause to the sponsors of today's event. Future Black Female, Black Women's Economic Security, also known as BWES, and the Women and Gender Equality Canada wage, also known as. So I just want to say thank you. Without their support, financially, emotionally, informational-wise, we would not have the event today as it is. So thank you to those online as well. Awesome. I want to pause here as well and ask, are there any individuals who feel like, wow, it's interesting thinking about who's in my support network and who's in my social network, but I wonder who am I in other people's network? Anyone else wondering that? I wonder who am I? Am I in someone's support network? Have I been good in there or helpful in their support network? Or am I in someone's social network? Or hold on, I think I used to be in someone's support network. And now remember, before we got here to the topic of support and social networks, we were exploring our goals and what our goal is and why this is our goal, and now who's gonna help you with our goals. And it's important to reflect, yes, who's gonna help us, but as we are big on community here, like we're not here trying to do all things by ourselves and burn out, right? Remember that you're also part of someone's community. So it's healthy to reflect on, how am I doing in my sister's community? Like, am I part of her social support at this stage of her life, or am I in her support network? Reflect on that. I'm going to pause, and this is where we're going to have any open questions before we go any further. Anyone have any questions before we go any further? None at all? Great. Okay. We have one more portion before the lunch break, so bear with me, you guys are doing great. We're gonna move on to boundaries. What type of boundaries will you need for these goals? What type of boundaries will you need for these goals? Or the goal, if you only have one, you don't need lots. So to explain them in the most simple form today, I'm gonna break down our boundaries, our personal boundaries, in 3 categories. So we have rights to, and we are to have rigid boundaries, porous boundaries, and assertive boundaries. I chose my words intentionally. We are to have, and we have the right to, rigid boundaries, assertive boundaries, and porous boundaries. These are options that we have, access to all of them. However, when we've been hurt, when we've been lied to, when we've been betrayed, when we haven't been in the safest communities, when we have been isolated, we tend to only practice rigid boundaries and or porous boundaries, extreme opposites, right? We find ourselves being taken advantage of or walked all over. That's porous boundaries. Never saying no, never having any resistance, never saying, let me pause and think about that. Just saying, sure, okay, yes, to almost everything. Very porous boundaries. And then sometimes because of the pain, hurt, trauma, things we've experienced, will be, again, the extreme opposite, rigid boundaries. No, 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 no. I don't care how much you've grown. I don't care how much you've changed. I don't care how apologetic you are. No, 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 no. So today I wish for you to express, I think we have another online question. Okay, 1 minute. Today I want us to recognize that when we are well, when we are managing our mental health to the best of our ability, when we are in our window of tolerance, when we are in that middle of the paradigm, remember burnout and survival to thriving, when we are well, we have access to using all of these boundaries, rigid, assertive, and porous. There's a time and place for all of these types of boundaries. So there are some people in our life that deserve porous boundaries. I think of a child who has limited abilities. So maybe it's not acceptable for people to walk into your house with their shoes on. You would never expect that of an adult. You'd tell them, hello, like, please take off your shoes. But a little 1-year-old comes running in, just learning to walk, and they have their shoes on. I'm gonna have more porous boundaries. Oh, she's so cute. Okay, let me help you take off your shoes. Type of thing, porous boundaries. Whereas, there's a time and a place. I'm not going to let everyone who I believe has the ability, the awareness, capacity to get away with that rule. But those who maybe have disabilities or lack awareness, lack capacity, lack lived experience, yes, I will give them more porous boundaries. I also want to pause here and highlight, there's a difference between boundaries and rules. Before we go any further, let's make sure we establish this. Rules are for other people to follow. So we are all aware of, at least in Western society, red light means stop, yellow light means slow down, green light means go. That's a rule, right? Like, that's a law, by all means. Now, the boundary that our government sets up is that if you break these rules and don't stop when it's red, or you don't slow down when it's yellow, you get tickets. That's the boundary. You're gonna get tickets. You're gonna get taken to court. Because there's a risk here. Someone can get hurt. That's the boundary saying what I'm going to do. If you break this rule, my boundary, and this is what I'm going to do. Keep that in mind. Rules are different from boundaries. Does that make sense?
So,
Okay.
Sonia, we have someone on the chat that had 2 questions for us. Or
Thank
it's the same
you.
question, but 2 people.
Okay.
Alyssa and Amanda. So both of them were curious to find out, how can you rebuild your network? It's a question from, one of the things that you spoke about prior.
Okay.
We just wondering if you could please answer that for them.
Okay, nope. First of all, love the overhead voice, just interrupting out of nowhere. It's like, wow. Okay, definitely. Can you repeat the question, please?
The question is, how can you rebuild your network?
Okay, so we're gonna pause the boundaries conversation. Please don't be confused, guys. But how can we rebuild our network? It's actually gonna come up later, but I will honor the question coming up now. How can we rebuild our network? We have to be honest, first of all, that it's time to shift and change the dynamic. Something is not working for us. There's also to answer the how, to be most direct, we have to start taking calculated risks. And that looks like sometimes putting yourself into communities, events, neighborhoods, rooms that you would love to be in but aren't comfortable being by yourself. Right? So sometimes, there's this awesome event happening in downtown Toronto. I wish someone would come with me. And no one from your current community wants to come with you, or from your circle wants to come with you. A calculated risk would be, is it safe? Do I know how to get there? Do I have the funds to get there? Am I gonna gain something to get there? I think I should try. I think I should do it. And that's a calculated risk. I'm not telling you to just hop on the bus and go somewhere you don't know and go, calculated risk. I thought about it, I'm intentional. These are often ways that myself and clients branch out and expand their support network. And you meet like-minded individuals, meet new faces, new acquaintances who can sometimes become friends and sometimes even partners. Willing and able to hear other people out, this is where we're most able to collaborate, sometimes compromise. This is not the same as being taken advantage of. So I'm being assertive here, meaning I prefer that if you want to contact me on a random Tuesday, know that I work hours 9 to 5, so text me before you call me. You can still communicate with me, but I need you to text me before you call me. That's my assertive boundary. A rigid boundary would be, I'm not answering the phone. Do we hear the difference? Right? Assertive boundary, I kind of meet the person halfway, but I also have a preference and an expectation. A rigid boundary it is what it is. This is it. Now, there's a time and place for those rigid boundaries. When there's a lot at risk, when you have little capacity, maybe you just got out of a toxic relationship, maybe you just got your finances back to a stable place. You don't have a lot to lose. You can't risk this thing going wrong. Therefore, you are rigid here. This is the same as a new parent, again, with a new one. The stove is dangerous for a 1-year-old. So I'm going to be rigid. Don't go there. Whereas the couch, I'm okay with her figuring out, tumbling over 1 or 2 times. It's okay. The stove, non-negotiable. Flat out, no. Right? There's a time and place for our rigid boundaries, our assertive boundaries, and our porous boundaries. Does this make sense? Can I get a thumbs up, a nod? Wonderful. We're gonna pause here, and after our lunch break, we're gonna come back and explore what do these boundaries do for our goals. No. Wonderful. Tell me when I can turn off this mic.
Good.
So if you guys can just follow me, I can show you guys to the room where we're gonna have Jamal Smith Finance, and also the food, and I can show anyone where the washrooms are on that side as well. So just follow me in all black.
New Kashi granola with dark chocolate chunks, cashews, and more in 3 delicious flavors.
72-hour odor protection with just 6 ingredients isn't a myth.
It's me.
Hello, everyone. I know you guys are enjoying your meals and all of that stuff, but please make your way back into the auditorium. The second part of today's session is about to start. Please do us a favor. We know you're enjoying your meals, but do us a huge favor and join us back in the auditorium. Thank you.
I have 12 emails, 30 minutes.
hello. All right. How was lunch? I know it was finger food style. Okay, but there's still some left over for seconds, guys, if we're hungry. But how was lunch? We're okay? Okay, when we all access the restrooms, everyone feels rested. I hope those of you at home that missed us, I hope you chimed in, took a break, got up, stretched, did something, got something to nibble on and eat. All right? We're going to do a quick review for those who may have just joined us in-house or those who just hopped online. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Surviving to Thriving Workshop 2025. A quick, very fast-forward review of what we've done. We talked about what is our goal, why is this our goal, where is it coming from, what is it rooted in, and the importance of that. Hanging on to the why for future-oriented times when we're challenged, and who's going to help us achieve this goal. And we reviewed the support network from the social network. So I have a little activity for us now. Hopefully everyone said that food was okay and we're well rested, right? I asked that before, so now nobody should have an excuse for why they cannot participate and open up a little. Wait, we've ate, we're good, right? Everyone's stopping, you guys aren't nodding your heads anymore. What's going on? Why? Okay, good, all right. So I'm going to read a little scenario, and amongst the people around you or with your friends online in the chat, I would love for you to come up with details as to what you would advise this person based on what we've been learning, okay? So I'll go through the first one with you, and then the other ones you guys will do on your own. We get it? We'll try, kind of, sort of, okay. So the first scenario, this person has a goal of wanting to save up $5,000 so that they can purchase their first car, a used car, right after high school. That's their goal. They want to save up $5,000, specifically right after high school. They want to purchase their first vehicle, and they decided it's going to be a used vehicle. We understand the goal, right? Okay, it's quite specific, it's attainable. They have a number, they have a timeline right after high school, right? Okay. Now, this is their scenario. They have 4 solid friends in their circle, their community, amongst their parents, no siblings. 2 of their friends are rich. And these 2 friends spend a lot of money regularly. They go out a lot, and they invite this person out a lot. Then they have one friend who's raised in a middle-class family and just got their first job, is super excited, and is always talking about the job and how much they're saving. And then they have the other friend, so the 4th person, who's also tight on funds right now and is looking for ways to hustle by any means necessary. Take that or leave it, of whatever comes to mind. So that's the scenario. Again, this person's goal was they want to save $5,000. They want to purchase a car. They've said it's going to be a used car right after high school. We were talking about what is your goal, the why, where is it rooted in, and who's going to be around to help you get to this goal. Hearing what I've just read about this person's profile, what comes to mind for you guys? What comes to mind? We're going to definitely need the mic for this one. Thank you. Yeah, I see Yasmin with her hand up. Or someone else too? Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. So it sounds like he has one really good
He,
friend.
I never said any pronouns.
Oh,
okay.
sorry.
Run with it. He, okay.
In my mind, that's supposed to be true.
It's okay.
But this individual has one good friend that is in a similar situation to him and who's been sharing good resources of how that person, his friend has been, whatever, the person's friend has been saving money, so that might be a good person for him to get some appraisal support from.
Ah, love it. Okay, so Yasmin says, out of the 4 friends, it sounds like for sure he has that one who's working from the middle class family who he can lean on for appraisal support, right? The wisdom and the second opinion advice. Okay. Anything? Everyone agree with Yasmin so far? Cool. What about the 2 rich friends? Why would we just skip over the 2 rich friends? Okay, we see a hand over here. Love it.
Hello.
Hi.
I think we skip over the rich friends because talking about support network and social network, we recognize that they're only going to see the one side, which is going out and spending money, and not the support network that this person needs in terms of attaining their goal.
All right, well said. Hit the nail on the head. She didn't say block and delete. That's not what she said. She said that this person, that two rich friends they're friends, but they're most likely going to be in this social network. While attaining this goal, they're not going to be the ones that you lean on right now while you're trying to save up. And they may not understand your goal at all. They may not understand it. They may not understand the severity of it or the timeline. Maybe they've never had to save up to buy their own car. Right? Not making assumptions. Not all of your wealthy friends will be like this. But yes.
Sonia, can we please repeat the question one more time for the people online?
Oh, sure. Okay, so the question is, I have presented a scenario of someone who we've now identified as going to be a he, and they're saving up. Their goal is to save $5,000 because they want to purchase their first vehicle right out after high school, and they've decided this first vehicle will be a used vehicle. That's why they're saving up $5,000. I also presented this person has 4 solid friends, they feel, and 2 of those friends are rich, or rather wealthy. They go out a lot, and they invite this person out a lot. They spend a lot. The third friend is from a middle-class family, and they've just gotten their first job. They're really excited, and they talk about the job and how they're saving all the time. Then their fourth friend is rather tight for funds, like the person we're talking about, and is willing to do whatever, whenever, to make money. So then the question posed was, what advice, what can you, based on what we've been talking about, like what is your goal? Where is your goal rooted in? Or why is that your goal? Who's going to help you achieve that goal? Based on all that we've learned so far before the break, what would you advise this person? So far, 2 of our participants in-house today, one said, well, it sounds like that friend from the middle-class family who just got the job can be a part of your support network, specifically the appraisal support. They can give you a second opinion, advice, and ways to maybe get a job and save. We had another in-house participant say, the 2 rich friends may just need to be a part of your social network for this season because they won't understand your goal. They're not going to get your drive. They're not going to be most motivating for you right now. Anyone else have something to add? Okay, we have someone at the back. At the back, yeah. Thank you.
Also, they should really take a look at who can they look at for information, right? Because there's a lot of different factors where information would weigh in, whether you're looking at, what type of vehicle you might want, can $5,000, can you lower down your purchase price, right? Because, when you got friends that are rich, they brag different, right? Like, they're going to say just spend it, right? But looking at who would be a good information support.
Yeah. So who's going to advise you to stick to your goal and versus tell you, you only need 3,000. Let's blow the other 2,000 on this party or this whatever. So the informational support is important around that time. I also, before I jump in, anyone else? No? Okay. I also think it's important for this person to remember their why. Why do you want a car right after high school? Why are you saving up the money? Remind yourself every time someone proposes, let's go out this weekend, or we just graduated high school. Come on, everyone's going to Blue Mountain or somewhere in Canada for those who are international here. And so, right, or let's go out to this party. You work so hard to graduate. Buy yourself this X, whatever it is, expensive gift. Remind yourself of the why. How long you've been thinking about getting this first vehicle. How you may be the first one in your family to buy your own first vehicle. Remind yourself of the why. That keeps the momentum, right? That keeps keep that at the forefront of your mind. It's not anyone else's responsibility to remember your why, right? It is not anyone else's responsibility to remember your why for your goals. Not your partner. I'm sorry. It's great if they do, but it's not their obligation. Right? Not your coach, not your mentor. You can pay them to do that, but that's not what they wake up and have to remember. It's your responsibility. It's your goal. Make sense? All right. Scenario number 2. You guys are doing well with that first one. Number 2, this person's goal, let's say she for this one. She wants to decide what to do after university, after she graduates from university. No one in her family went to university. She'll be the first one to have graduated from university. And everyone, for some reason, thinks that she's rich. For whatever reason, she was the first one in her family to go to university. Maybe she carried herself well. Maybe they don't know about the grants or OSAP or loans that she's had to take in. But everyone has this perception that this fresh graduate is rich. And a lot of people depend on her. Her goal is to decide what to do after she graduates from university. What advice or recommendations would you give this young adult? We have a participant with an option over here.
I thought we were going to be given a couple of minutes to, think. Are we going to be given that time? Okay.
Go ahead.
I think I can relate. So I think for her, she needs to communicate to her family or her circle that this is a time for her to build. This is a time for her to focus on herself. Whatever reason, maybe she's a people pleaser or she wants to make everybody happy, but she needs to establish boundaries.
I'm so glad. I was waiting for the word. I said, please. We done talked about it. Thank you.
Yeah, she definitely needs to establish boundaries. And her why has to be considered too. If she's coming from the Caribbean or an African background, it is cultural for the one who escaped to start helping immediately.
Others,
and so it's hard to communicate to your family that this is something that's necessary. I'm not being mean, I'm not being spiteful, I'm not being malicious in saying that I need some time to ensure that I've established myself. That might be 5 years, that might be 10 years, but with a lot of patience and a lot of kindness as best as possible, you have to establish that. You can't control how people will interpret that, but she would definitely have to say, I'm sorry, I can't help you right now. I hope to be able to do so in the future, but for now, if I need to put the mask on for myself and ensure that I survive this landing before I start to help others. If not, I look back in 10 years and I will be probably at the same place that everybody is because I didn't make that decision, establish those boundaries, establish my why, establish my goals. Maybe in the next 10 years, I want to be able to invest in a home. And if I am able to do that, that would give me some equity. And then I can probably go into real estate or something. And then
you sound like you know this person.
Yes. I did say she's me, right?
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah,
no, thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. No, right on the nail. Hit it on the nail, right on the nail. This young adult needs to practice and invest in boundaries, right? We talked about that right before the lunch break, the notion of rigid boundaries, assertive boundaries, and porous boundaries. And we have access to and rights to all of them. Let's repeat that. We have access to and rights to all of them. Do not let the challenges of life or the limitations that people put over you think that you only have one or rights to one. Right? You have access to and rights to all these boundaries. And I also think it's important, as you mentioned, reviewing your why. Again, it's her responsibility to remember her why. And I think I want it to become a norm for us to communicate our boundaries confidently and communicate our goals. Recognizing that by communicating your goals doesn't mean everyone's going to receive it, understand it, and jump on board right away. But by you communicating them externally, that tells me at some point in time you've thought about it intentionally, internally, you've processed it, you sat with it, and now that's why you can say it out loud. Does this make sense? Wonderful, okay. Another one. These are common, by all means, someone relate to it. This person's goal is to end a toxic relationship. So I'll get more specific. This person's goal is to end a toxic, intimate relationship. This is with their partner. Some details. They've dated for 5 years. Everyone in the family knows their partner. Every one of their friends knows their partner. And according to their friends and family, they're great. They were supposed to get married yesterday. It's been 5 years. On the outside, things are wonderful. Like, that's the couple to watch. Come on, couples goals. But this person's goal is to end this toxic relationship. They recently started living together. And they share social media. So instead of Sonia Palmer Nelson Instagram, it's Sonia and John, or Tiffany and whoever, right? Like, they share all their accounts. What advice can we give this person? Take a second. This is a doozy. Take a second, right? What advice? We talked about what is your goal? Where is your goal rooted in? What's it rooted in? Right? Remembering your why, having some boundaries. Who's going to help you achieve this goal? Can I pause there? Who's going to help you achieve this goal? Is your goal attainable? Did you put a timeline, or is it never ending? I want to get out 1 day, 1 year. What advice do we have for this person? Is there anything written online in the chat that I should check? Jillian or Prince, can you guys let me know? Nothing online, okay?
Nothing in the chat at the moment, we're still waiting.
Thank you. What advice do we have for this person? You guys had so much advice for the other two people. Just leaving this person stranded. My God, this person is out here being transparent, telling you their business. I need help. I want to shift from surviving to thriving. Help me out. It's been 5 years. I need to get out of this. ASAP, what is going on? Help a sister out. Okay, we have someone in the back? Oh, we need a few minutes. Okay.
We had someone online say they both need prayers, and we agree.
Sorry, prayers and?
Just prayers, and I agree with that as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, our sound person is agreeing with yes. We all could benefit from some prayers, but okay.
Have another person online as well that says they need to figure out what their community is. So I think they're talking about the person that wants to cut off the toxic other person,
yes,
right?
definitely.
So another person says they need to assess whom they could reach out to. The online community is very active, so we're happy about that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I think you had something to say over here. Can we have the mic over here for Santana? Yes, mic please, so those online can hear you too.
So what I was saying is that I think in situations like this, maybe this is why we all kind of paused, it can get sticky. And so I think it's important when you're in a toxic relationship and you're considering your exit strategy, you have to be very careful with how you proceed.
Yes.
Because you may trigger something in that other person that can ultimately create an explosion, especially when detachment is difficult. And so I think strategy, someone said community, that's important, knowing who your people are. So support, whether it's emotional support, informational support, where can I go to if things get out of hand? The appraisal part that we spoke about earlier, like who are my people, and know their skills and know what their strengths are and pick them out accordingly. Don't just run to people because there's an ear to hear. You have to have
Say that again. Don't just
run to people because they have an ear to hear. Use your discernment and recognize their skills and what they have to offer and how it's going to benefit you. Going back to the why.
Yes.
Why am I doing this? Because I need to feel maybe safe. So pick out your support systems based on what they can actually do to support you and not just listen to you. At this stage, you don't need someone to listen. You need someone with action who can help you put your strategy into place. So
Thank you. So let's make sure we're on the same page. If we're this person trying to get out of this toxic relationship, now is a very good time to review who's available to me, first of all. And the people who are available, are they in my support network? What can they offer me? What can I offer them? Honesty and transparency. And who's in my social network? Now, I would add to what Santana said, it's very important. You need someone who can do things for you to help get out of this toxic relationship, 100%. But we are human. We experience emotions, ups and downs every single day. There's going to be some days where you will need to cry it out while you're packing that bag. There's going to be some days where you're going to, oh my gosh, is this the right thing? Or should I just stay? Maybe one more time, one more chance. Should I forgive them? Should I not? We need that emotional support. We are human. I'd be lying to you if I said you're not going to stumble while you pack up your bags and try to leave. Especially because it's been 5 years and everyone knows this person and we're waiting for you to get married yesterday. Like, this is not about to be quick and easy, cut them out dry. Right? So I will 100% analyze and assess who can be supportive to me right now. I need instrumental support immediately. Who's my ride or die that says, listen, I know we look great. I know our Instagram is popping, but I need to get out now. I need to leave. I can tell you the details tomorrow, but when I give you a call next week, I actually need you to come over because that's the only time I have privately on the phone. Right? I also need that social support of, it's been a long 2 weeks of trying to plan this, I need a breather. Can we go on a walk together just to get out of my environment for a second? Right? You only know me as the person that we used to work out together. You don't know anything about besides what you see on social media. I'm not necessarily going to tell you everything, but I need a breather. It's been 2 weeks of planning to get out. I need someone I can walk with who won't ask me so many questions. I need someone who will just go on a walk with me and we literally just talk fitness. A little distraction for a second, right? We do need both. We have to know who to choose. Imagine going to the person who just wants to walk with you as instrumental support. Foolishness. They want to go on a walk with you and you're telling them all your business, pouring out all these details, and they just want to go for a walk. I'm just trying to get my steps in. Like, what is all this, right? Like, we have to know who we're going to. That's crucial to achieve your goal. If you plan on leaving this toxic, unhelpful, unhealthy, not safe, repetitive, inconsistent relationship, you need to know who you are talking to. Do you understand? Thank you, Santana. And our last one before we move forward.
Oh, wait, I have something.
Ooh, somebody? Sorry, yes. I was like, where is it? Go ahead.
I think also, as great as a goal that is, sometimes that is just a huge goal. Yeah, so it's okay to have smaller ones that can help you progress to that out of that point of leaving. Because sometimes, like, yeah, I'm leaving. You pack your bag and you're gone, and I've seen it. I remember my neighbor on top of me, like, big showdown. Ooh. Everything was breaking, and I know there's babies up there, and I'm just like, oh God. And then I seen her come out the building with her kids, a friend, and luggages. Yeah. She was back by the evening.
Ooh, wow.
Right? That's a lot of packing, you know.
No, yeah.
So sometimes, you know, that goal is to leave, but maybe you need to kind of be more realistic, and especially if you intertwined your whole life with this person, it's just going to be like, how do I...
Where do I go? What's the plan?
How are my first goal is maybe get rid of this social media image. Yeah. Start to get out of that. And then my next goal is finances, because that in itself as well is the whatever. Yeah. And so, you know, you kind of can separate that main goal into like maybe 5, 10, whatever goals, and that'll help you get to that big one at the end, which is the leaving.
No, I agree. But you know who would have told that neighbor that goal? The appraisal support. right? The second opinion, the wisdom, the knowledge, understanding. The instrumental would have been like, yes, sis, come, pack it up. Grab the baby, grab everybody, like you said, and I'm out the door. You don't need to explain anything to me because I know I've talked to you every night. I know what you've been going through. That's probably what you witnessed. This person did not evidently have any appraisal support, no informational support. Where are you going with these children? It's cold outside. Where are you going to sleep tonight? No one Googled, apparently. Right? With like, what things are expensive. Where are you going? Right? And so I agree. We can break it down to those goals, but if we had the right supports in every category, someone would have said exactly what you said. Hold on, slow down. Maybe we could do this in 2 weeks, in a month. Let's start with this one. Let's develop your identity again and have your own IG to start. Right? Baby steps add up to full-grown steps. Right? Thank you, thank you. Can we handle one more? Or are we getting one more? Okay. This person's goal is to lose weight. That's all they said. Lose weight. Okay? And everyone else in the family is fit. They have 2 solid friends who want to lose weight as well, but don't know how. And this person says the last time they tried losing weight, they kind of just let themselves eat whatever they want. That's it. That's the portfolio. The goal is to lose weight. There's no amount. There's no by when. There's no how or why. Everyone else in their family is apparently fit. They have 2 friends alongside who also would like to lose weight. Again, no how, when, how much, nothing. And the last time they recall having a similar goal, they had no boundaries. So what do you advise this person? This one is easy. I'm not giving you any time with this one. This one should be very straightforward. What are we advising this person? I can't hear you. Mm-hmm.
I think the person can start by establishing why. Why do I want to be fit? Yes, everybody in his or her family is healthy, fit, and what have you. Am I going to do it because it's what everybody's doing it, or when I'm 70 years old, I want to have autonomy. I want to be able to move around. I want to be able to lift my grandkids and go walking with my girlfriends or travel. Is that why you want to do it? Do I want to look nice and be able to post, bikini photos in summer or whatever? And even that, whatever your why is. And then start by increasing the algorithms of your life in the areas that you want to see more of those things. So like last year I was 208 pounds.
You?
Yeah.
For those online, she doesn't look 200 or nothing. I want to make that very clear. For those online who can't see, she does not look 200 pounds. Not trying to be generous. She does not look 200 pounds.
So I want, when I get to 60, not to have arthritis. My grandma had it, my mom has it. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I'm like, okay, they didn't do this. So maybe if I do it when I get to their age, I won't have that issue. And so that was my motivation.
All right.
And you start small, as has been said before. So I used to work out, but that's too big to go into the gym and lift 200 pounds or squat 200 pounds. So I just started walking. Mm-hmm. And you find things that make it easier. Okay. So if you know that if you drive past McDonald's, you're gonna stop, then take the longer route. Don't drive past. So start with simple things.
With
maybe
baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. Going to the gym might be overwhelming, so you just walk. If you're living in an environment that makes it easy to walk. I started summer, so it was bright and sunny outside, and that helped my mental health too. And then from there, you start addressing other things, maybe the diet,
Okay.
and then
I'm gonna pause you.
So yeah.
I love it. It. Anybody else?
So we had someone online.
Okay.
Alyssa gave a great suggestion.
Okay.
So she said SMART goals need to be put in place immediately.
Who's that?
Alyssa.
Big up you, Alyssa.
Yeah. So she said SMART goals need to be put in place, and then there's no goal which will make it hard for her to walk towards her ultimate goal or whatever she wants to achieve. So yeah.
So it's a combination of what both of the ladies were saying, essentially. First of all, make your goal more specific and attainable. How much weight do you want to lose? By when? And for what? Why? Kind of thing. And then remind yourself of this. No one touched on, like, what about the two friends who said they also want to lose weight? They may not be informational support right now, but they sound like they would be emotional support. Like they're all three of them want to lose weight. They don't know how. We all need a trainer or a coach or something, but they understand the emotional side of what this person wants. Do we understand? All right. My hope is that if you didn't see yourself in any of those examples to the T, that you found some sort of familiarity, something that you could touch up on, or something you can do better with, or something you could, I saw myself do in the past type of thing, right? I hope at no point in time that this was triggering to anyone. That's not the goal. All right, let's jump into the workbook again and the slide that says, when you feel stuck. All right, if you just came and don't have a workbook, please let us know. They're at the back as well. So when you feel stuck, awesome. Review and reflect on your why. We've been saying this throughout the whole workshop today. Review and check your support network. Review your strengths and your wins so far. That last one is what I want to hit home today. Review your strengths and your wins so far. There's no way you got to this big age and have no strengths or no wins. There's no way. I don't have to know you personally. I don't have to know all of your business. I don't have to assess or dissect your life to know that at some point in time, you must have achieved something. The very essence that everyone was able to walk into this building and not have to be pushed into the building tells me that at some point in your life, you learned to walk, right? Some say it's a luxury by all means, but it's also something that you had to learn to do at a very young age. So the small things count. What are the strengths and the wins? Are you very eclectic? Are you very artsy? Are you creative? Are you good under pressure? Are you good at saying, no matter how many people are in the room or who's in the room, can you use I statements? Right? Do you show up as your authentic self, no matter what? No matter how much is riding on the line, do you still show up as your authentic self? Right? So whenever you're feeling stuck in your goal, remind yourself of your why, or check on your support network, because maybe you need to rearrange some people or communicate to them more. Hey, you've been great appraisal support to me lately, but I'm feeling kind of stuck. That's a good time to check in with them. Or hey, you're one of my most emotional supportive friends ever. I'm feeling kind of stuck. I don't know if I've told you, or maybe I didn't admit it yet, but I'm stuck, right? Or I hit a plateau. Be honest with your support network. And then review your strengths. This is a moment, it's not you bragging, it's not you being big-headed. Remind yourself of how far you've come. Does this make sense? These are things to do when you're stuck. Go to the next slide. What about when you're tempted to give up? What's the plan? I chose that phrase on purpose. What is the plan? Because there will be moments where you want to give up. It's not if you want to give up. You could be the most optimistic person ever. You could have the most resourceful family ever, the most wealthy family, the most forgiving partner, the most patient class. But at some point in time, you're going to be tempted to give up. Not that you want to give up. My choice of word was that you'll be tempted to give up. Please go with me to the next slide. So when you are tempted to give up, what is the plan? A big part of maintaining your mental health and getting closer to your goals, shifting from the surviving, burnt out, to thriving side of the paradigm, is knowing at some point in time, with this goal, I will be tempted to give up. Admit that. Set yourself up for success by admitting that statement. And now, what is the plan? Some suggestions. Start by admitting it, then acknowledging it. Pause if you need to, and then reintroduce yourself to the why. What does this look like? This looks like literally some internal conversation. This looks like trusting, leaning into your support network. This looks like journaling sometimes. For those of us of Christian faith, sometimes it looks like prayer. right? Sometimes it looks like going to inspirational events, checking in safe spaces, admitting I'm actually tempted to cancel this business and just be done. Sometimes you have to say it out loud. It's terrifying. There's a heavy sense of shame sometimes with it. But it's in those vulnerable moments where you're admitting it, acknowledging it, in safe spaces with your support network, you get to activate your support network there. Now it's like you've told everyone, hold on, she's thinking of dropping the ball, right? She's thinking of giving up. This is where we need to get it together, right? When you're coasting, when you're doing well, when you're thriving, your support network is chilling. They're just loving it. They're watching you thrive. They're like, oh, he is doing it. He's doing all he needs to do. We're rooting for you, whatever. It's not hard work to root for you. We love you. We believe in you. It's not hard to cheer you on. When you're struggling, when you're tempted to give up, that's when it's our time as your community to work. I'm in your community not to just be decoration. So let me work for you. I'm in your community because I care for you. I hang out with you and I know about your different roles that you have, and I ask you questions, I check in on you, not because it's decoration or I'm bored. I actually like you. I actually care about you. I'm invested by this time. I've been your instrumental support for years. So why don't I know that you're about to give up? That doesn't make sense. How did you skip over that part in yesterday's video call? Why are we talking about hairdos and you're tempted to give up your goal? So activate your support network. Be honest. So when we're tempted to give up, that's the time to activate your support network. This is not the same as, you need to do my work for me. Pull it together because I'm tired, I'm burnt out. No, we're not passing the baton. We're simply saying, I'm tired, I need help holding up the baton. And I can't help, we in your community can't help you if you don't even admit that you're tired. You don't even let us see that you're tired. Prime example, we stopped for a lunch break a while ago, and I was there handing out plates to you guys. I want to make sure everyone's eating, and no one's too shy to get in line. Our lovely operations manager, Devine, who is somewhere doing something, was like, hello, aren't you the main speaker? Like, don't you need to eat? What happens when everyone else eats and then you sit down to eat last? And I was like, oh, that's true. Ding, ding, ding. There goes someone in my support network being like, what are you doing? Get it together, right? So it's those simple little things. They help. But if I wasn't able to receive it, if I didn't acknowledge she's in my support network, if I didn't remember, hold on, she knows all my other hats. Yeah, I'm here too hungry, but you're also the main speaker. Go eat something, right? So let your support network function. And if they can't, that's a sign. Reassess.
So we have a comment online.
Okay.
And the person said, some individuals honestly want to be a low maintenance support towards people, but want full support from you. That's a little bit too deep, so I'm gonna leave that with you.
Oh, wow, okay. Can you read that again, please?
So she said, some individuals honestly want to be a low maintenance support towards people, but want full support from you.
Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, some people want me to give them all support or pour into their cup, but they only pour a little drop in my cup.
Right.
Is that what, okay. So it sounds like I'm in this person's support network and they're nothing to me. Or they're maybe in my social network, or they're maybe an acquaintance. And am I shocked? Is the writer shocked or is the writer upset? Was there capitals, exclamation marks, emojis?
This one more.
Okay.
So this is a question. She said, when you let people know you need support, but they tell you you require too much and they don't have time, how do you approach asking people for support without them feeling like you're a burden?
Good question, good question. Okay. I'm telling someone I need support, being transparent, being vulnerable, because it's not hard to admit that we need support, and their response is along the lines of, you're needing too much. This is often when we talk about shifting or standing strong, we're about to talk about this. Be mindful when we get these type of responses, someone in your support network is weary. We are all human, right? And when it's being a part of someone's support network means when I'm low on capacity or when my bandwidth is low, I need to communicate this. 5 minutes ago, we discussed Communicate with your support network. Tell them when you're tired so they can help you hold up the baton, right? But also, while in the community, when you're tired, when you're tapped out, when you're limited, tell your friends this too, right? Okay, so I hope that answers the question. First of all, we shouldn't be shocked. People are gonna get tired and weary. How they tell us can be offensive, 100%, but don't let it be a sign of, oh my gosh, I should never ask anyone. No, that person you asked is tired. And unfortunately, they communicated it late or not in a nice way. That doesn't mean you should never ask for help or never risk being vulnerable again. Not to that person, just not in that season, not that week, not that month. Try someone else. And yes, you may not have a lot of people in your community or in your circle that you can ask 5 other people, but I don't want us to leave here thinking, I ask once, I get a negative response, don't ask again. That's not the goal. Remember, just like it is, you have right and access to boundaries, you have right and access to support network and social network too. That's how we achieve our goals. Whoever you consider successful in your life right now, I don't have to know them, but I guarantee they have a support network. I guarantee they have a social network, and that's what runs the business. That's what runs the family, right? It's more than one person. It's discouraging, yes, when someone says, oh my gosh, you're asking for too much, or I'm tired too, I'm a parent too, or I have bills too. It's discouraging. It's embarrassing sometimes. It brings shame into the room. Assess, you can communicate to that person, I get it, I understand you can't help right now. I wish you would have just told me in a nicer way, right? You didn't have to say it like that. That kind of struck a chord. But let's not erase that person is actually tired. The two can exist. Does this make sense? I saw a hand at the back. You have a comment in the blue shirt.
Hello. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to add to what you were saying there, and also reminding of when our social network is, our social support is shifting, right? So in that season, that person just may not, like you said, have the capacity to be in,
support.
A certain type of support. And so maybe for that season, while you're working on that goal, they maybe are more of a social support.
There it is,
or other things, right? So
every season our cycle changes.
And that doesn't mean that it's necessarily a bad friend.
No,
Or perhaps it is, and that's cueing to you, right? That you have too many of one type of friend and not enough of a different one that you do need. So that might be cueing to you that you may need to find some more resources, some more support of a different kind for that season of your life.
Yeah, and take more calculated risks, right? Calculated, right? But I believe there was a comment in regards to someone I'm pouring into their cup, they're not pouring much into mine. That's a red flag of, hold on, this person's not supportive to you, right? They're gaining from you, they're taking. Maybe you're in their support network, but they're clearly not in yours. And to my comment of, are you surprised or are you angry? I've worked with clients one-on-one and in families where we talk about, why are we surprised? This is not a new behavior someone just picks up tomorrow. It tends to have been a pattern. They don't pour into your cup often, or at least once or twice in a row. Now we should not be shocked. Now we should realize either this person doesn't want to, they can't, and therefore they're not in your support network anymore. Social network or an acquaintance. Do we understand? I say it with love. All right, moving along, guys. We're almost done. Oh, there's a hand, sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to kind of get your insight on how often do you think we should be doing audits, like internal audit, but then a social, like our environmental audit? Because you asked the question, are you mad or are you surprised? So then the question posed in my head now, how often should we be doing audits so that we understand that?
I personally recommend to clients, again, registered psychotherapist, this is from my experience with clients, every time something big, like you're going through a life transition, it's a time to do an audit on life in general. So, and big transition doesn't just mean I have a breakup. Big transition means you're moving, you're going to school, you're going back home, you're you're in a new relationship, or you hit a new mark. It's been 2 years, and now you're considering, are we going to move in? Are we getting engaged? Life transitions are great times to audit life. Outside of life transitions, moments of reflection, and that's going to be now dependent on you. So if you're a reflective person and you do journaling regularly, I imagine you do what feels like auditing regularly. If you're not a person who does self-reflection or personal development often, you don't go to therapy, or you don't read on reflective personal development, you just do something when in need, then yes, an audit will be overwhelming and it will be rare in your life. But if you invest in your personal growth, be it in therapy, outside of therapy, by reading, writing, travel, experiencing culture, then auditing is not going to be foreign to you. You're going to do this naturally. I hope that answers your question. When to shift versus when to stand strong. You have a goal. You're prepared for when I feel like tempted to cancel the goal or quit. You are prepared for when you feel stuck. Now we're discussing when to shift and when to stand strong. You'll see that the examples I put there, or the recommendations I put, are for individuals of faith and individuals of no faith. We're inclusive here. We're not excluding anyone. And so it's time to shift something in your strategy when your capacity and knowledge has expanded. Simply said, you learned something new. So you made the goal when you were 25, and now you're 30, and you learned something about a new resource, you didn't know this thing existed. Now you may want to implement this into your goal. You're not changing, you're not becoming brand new, you're shifting. So you thought your goal was going to be done at the next month. Now hold on, there's this new thing, I'm going to wait. I can actually do it next week because of this new thing I learned, right? Another time to shift is when there's new limitations. For a lot of individuals I've supported, for example, immigrants who are new to the country, and they came to the country with hopes of replicating their life as it was back home here. I was settled, I was ready, I was established back home, and I expect to be the exact same way within 2 years. They come here and they learn all the limitations, all the rules and policies and things you have to redo and licenses you have to redo. Now they have to shift their goal, literally, because of things out of their control. That's a time to shift. Another time to shift for those of us of faith is if you're constantly getting a tug, what we've referred to the Holy Spirit leaning, like tugging on you, like you're in your prayer time, in your reflection time, something needs to shift. We have to be honest about that as well. A time to stand strong. I'll pause. All right, and sorry about that, guys. So stand strong, I mean when to not shift, don't change, don't get distracted, don't change anything about your goal. This is what I'm referring to now. It's time to stand strong when a lot of changes are happening around you, but nothing is directly impacting your strategy or your goal. So I started refining therapy services right in the midst of the pandemic, 2021. Crazy time for all of us. Everyone's being told to stay home, you can't go outside, everything has to be virtual. As limited as we were, it didn't affect me or RTS. I was already going to be virtual. I was already planning from working from home. As intimidating as and overwhelming as the time was, I stood strong. Do you understand? So lots of things could be changing, winds could be blowing, a lot of new rules, but if it's not affecting you directly, that's not, oh my gosh, I'm going to change and shift my goal because everyone else needs to. No, but what about your direct goal? Your goal is not affected, so you continue. Another time to stand, knowing when to stand strong, when your personal boundaries are improving your mental health, regardless of how others are viewing your boundaries. So you set a new boundary of, you know what, I'm not going to any more family Christmas dinners when it's at that uncle's house. I'll still send my gift, I'll give a call to uncle and auntie, but I'm not coming in person whenever family Christmas dinners are at uncle's house. Because I had a horrible traumatic experience, And that's my new personal boundary for myself. Now, this may be uncomfortable for the family. Everyone's upset, why aren't you there? That's disrespectful, respect your elders, what is going on? We meet every year at Uncle's house, this is very rude. But my mental health, since making that decision, I felt at peace. I've been sleeping better. I've been actually even communicating with them more via phone, checking in. I'm honoring my boundaries with all my other aunts and uncles as well. I'm gonna stand strong with this boundary, with this goal. Just because others are rocky or troubled, your mental health is improving while honoring your personal boundary. There's nothing to shift here. There's nothing to change. Do you understand? And again, last but not least, those of us by faith, when your mind and body and spirit are being led by the Holy Spirit to do so, stand strong. Simply put. Last but not least, before I want to read, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to ask for the vendors to come up here so we can shout them out. Before we go, I want to leave you all with a reminder of the paradigm. Can I have that on the screen? Yes. Early on in today's workshop, we started by looking at this paradigm where we wanted to shift from, right? Being burnt out, in survival mindset, fine, well, and thriving. By us acknowledging what is our goal, what is it rooted in, where did our goal come from, why is this our goal, who's supporting our goals, right? What's the plan for when we're tempted to quit? What's the plan for when we're feeling stuck? When do we shift versus what do we do? When do we know to stand strong? This is how we will shift from the survival mindset, doing it the old way, whatever's like hanging on by threads, almost burnt out, signs and symptoms of being depressed, lost, to then finally thriving. And remember, we can't stay in thriving forever. That's not the goal. We'll go through ups and downs. At most or at best, we'll stay at fine, right in the middle. Sometimes we'll dance and stay at well for seasons. We'll aim for thriving again, but we can't stay at thriving forever. We're not perfect. The goal is not perfection. The goal is to stay on the right side of the paradigm. Do you understand? Wonderful. Thank you all. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath with me. We are wrapping up. Awesome. Can I ask everyone in-house to just stand up right where you are? Stand up right where you are. Awesome, awesome. Take a stretch. Okay. If you can, bend down, touch your toes. I'm not about to do it. Do what I say, not what I do. Touch your toes if you can, or as low as you can. Turn around, do a whole 360 if you can. Stay standing, don't sit yet. Sit down if you are happy. Okay, so you don't have, if you're not happy, don't fake it. Okay, sit down if you are feeling like you learned something new. Okay, stand up if you got affirmed in something today. You felt some sort of affirmation. Okay, everyone, you can sit down again. Stand up if at some point in time you felt validated. Validated, like, oh, finally, someone says that. I'm not the only one. Okay, good. Sit down. There's only two more, I promise you, there's only two more. Sit down. Stand up. Stand up if you heard something that was hard to digest. Hard like a, ooh, ouch. I understand, but I don't like it. Okay, and last but not least, sit down, everyone. Last but not least, stand up if you're glad that you showed up for yourself today. You showed up for yourself today. Awesome, round of applause for you. Love it, love it, love it. Someone asked me to share their comment while watching online and hearing about the boundaries. They said, and so what if I do things out of anger and oscillate between porous and rigid boundaries and burn out? Like, read me for filth, why don't you? Right. So those online, we appreciate you. I don't know if they're still hearing me, but we appreciate you. I really, really, really want to say thank you to all of you for participating today and coming out. We're going to just shout out Jamal Smith at the back, one of the vendors, a great financial advisor, and Jonathan. If you have not seen him, please get a contact. He has cards for us, I believe. correct? And then we have Felicia, who gave us our lunch today. Give her a round of applause. She's also a great hairstylist of all kinds of hairstyle. Get her cards, very flexible. She is mobile, I believe, as well, right? Great. Thank you to our sponsors, FBF, BWES, and Wage. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to our operations manager at the back, Devine. Love her. Our brand strategist, Julian. And her partner in crime today, Santana. Awesome. Prince at the back, who's been the overhead voice. He is our photographer and videographer for today. And last but not least, my awesome, awesome son, Jermaine. Stand up. Who's been a great volunteer, student volunteer today. Thank you guys, thank you guys. With your consent, I'm gonna ask, everyone may not be of the same faith, but I identify as Christian. I'm gonna ask if, with your consent, can I close us off in prayer? If you are uncomfortable, I understand. Please leave the room or close your eyes, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to ask if you're comfortable, if you can honor the Lord with me as we stand in prayer to close off. Thank you so much. Again, if you don't want to, you don't have to. I want to make this very clear. Wonderful. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord God, we thank you. You are awesome. Today was a wonderful time, and I am rooted and grounded in you. And I'm so grateful that everyone was able to make it on such a cold day and it's such a cold time. We're grateful that we had no internet issues and everyone learned something and they felt fed and heard. I pray that everyone feels safe in this space and feels safe even going home. I'm grateful for those who learned something and can share it with their family and friends, and I hope that we can continue to expand in our boundaries, our support networks, our social networks. We can achieve our goals, big and small, and remember that we are grateful and that you love us and we love you. We thank you one more time. I pray everyone gets home safely or to wherever they're going safely. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to pray as well. If you have any questions, concerns, you can hit me up privately, but this is the end. Thank you.
Can you guys all do me a huge favor and just come in the middle? I'm gonna have you guys shout, "Surviving to thriving!" And I just need a video clip for content.
Oh gosh, that's all you need.
Just in the center. Where's the smoke coming from? Oh, they're blowing it to make it look nice. Okay. No, no. Which one should I show? No, this one's fine. I'm going to get back and then up. Okay. But I want them to be like in the center. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, can you guys come in the center?
Like we're facing you, right?
Yeah, facing it. Yeah, they should all turn, right? Okay. Yeah?
Stand on the stage.
Get them to stand on the stage?
Yeah, get them to stand on it, yeah.
Sorry guys, can you guys go on the stage for me? You guys are the hot lights tonight, spotlights. Thank you, darling. Watch out. Yes. Yes. Yes, assistant. Yes, assistant. Yes. Oh God, so much better. Okay, period. This looks so good. Maybe they need to. Sonia, can you come in the center, please? In the middle. Go in the middle. You know who she is. Yeah. In the middle. No, you're. There we go. Yeah, right there. And then there's some of you that are hiding in the back. Can you come to the front? Those that are 5'3" and under, please come to the front. Can you guys, should they shift a little? Can you guys just all, yep, in my direction? Yep, shift. Yeah, shift. This way. Sorry. Yeah, you guys can move down to your left. Your left, yeah. Can you guys make a shift down? No, keep shifting a little bit, just a little bit more. Mommy, you coming at the front, Mommy, you in the front. Right here, yes. Yes, right in the front, please. Because, yeah, they're still a little off, but okay, it's fine. 2, 3. So on 3, we're going to say Surviving to Thriving 2025. Okay? This is going to be the test one. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Damn, okay. Okay, take 2. You want to do another spot up close? Okay. Period. Yeah, you got it, girl. You got it. Now I gotta go in. Ready. Okay. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Put up your hands. Anything. Shout. Anything. Jump. What you guys want to do? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.